Hello friends. Have you ever wondered what happens when two bulls lock eyes across the room, and instead of charging, they just get it? That's the magic and sometimes the challenge of a Taurus man and a Taurus woman falling in love. Both ruled by Venus, the planet of love, beauty, and sensuality, they share a zodiac blueprint that makes them both incredibly drawn to, and occasionally stubborn with, each other. But how does that play out in the different layers of a relationship? Let's explore every dimension of their love story. Chemistry. Initial attraction. When a Taurus man meets a Taurus woman, there is a subtle but undeniable shift in the atmosphere, as if the room suddenly feels calmer, warmer, more stable. It is not a thunderclap of passion or the dizzying rush of infatuation that some other pairings might feel. Instead, it's an almost gravitational pull, slow and deliberate, drawing them closer with each passing glance. This is a recognition not born of logic, but of something deeper, more instinctive, like two travelers who, upon crossing paths, realize they have been walking parallel roads their whole lives without knowing it. Their energies match in a way that feels effortless, almost preordained, as though the universe quietly conspired to place them in the same space at the same time. From the first moment, there is a quiet understanding. Both carry themselves with a certain unhurried grace, a steadiness that speaks of confidence without arrogance. The Taurus man notices the Taurus woman's natural poise, the way she moves without rushing, as if she knows the world will wait for her, and how her elegance doesn't scream for attention but instead whispers it. She has an earthy beauty, one that doesn't need embellishment to be noticed. Her presence is enough. He sees in her an authenticity that resonates with his own values, a refusal to pretend to be anything other than what she is. Likewise, the Taurus woman is drawn to the Taurus man's quiet strength. There is no bluster, no need to dominate the room, yet he commands respect simply by being. His calm confidence feels like a safe harbor, a place where she can rest without fear of judgment or instability. She senses in him a reliability that is rare, the kind that isn't just promised in words but lived out in daily actions. His steadiness suggests that he will not be swayed by every passing trend or fleeting passion. He is a man who knows who he is, and that alone is magnetic to her. What makes their first connection so unique is that it doesn't require exaggeration or performance. There's no pressure to impress with grand gestures or elaborate speeches. Instead, it's built on an unspoken language, the lingering glances, the shared silences that feel comfortable rather than awkward, the instinctive awareness of each other's mood and energy. They may find themselves seated together at a dinner or side by side at an art gallery, and without much conversation, already feel a deepening sense of familiarity. The influence of Venus, their shared ruling planet, is immediately apparent. Both have an appreciation for beauty in all its forms, not just the obvious, surface-level kind, but beauty in textures, in scents, in flavors, in the way a certain light hits a room. This means that their early interactions often gravitate toward experiences that feed the senses. Perhaps they meet over a shared love of good food, indulging in long meals where every bite is savored. Or they might wander through a quiet museum, pausing not only to admire the art but also to exchange subtle, knowing smiles that say, "I see what you see." Even a simple walk in the park can become a shared act of mindfulness, where they notice the same details, the curve of a tree branch, the softness of the breeze, the colors of the sunset. Because neither is prone to rushing, the early stages of their connection have a luxurious pace. They are not interested in instant gratification when it comes to love. Instead, they approach it like they would a fine wine, letting it breathe, allowing each note to reveal itself over time. This slowness isn't hesitation, it's intentionality. They want to know that what they are feeling has substance, that it's more than just the excitement of novelty. In their eyes, love is something worth building brick by brick, not throwing together in haste. This shared pacing creates a unique kind of chemistry, one that deepens with each interaction rather than fading after the initial spark. While some relationships blaze bright and burn out, theirs tends to smolder, gathering strength and warmth as it goes. The spark between them may not feel like a dramatic explosion on day one, but it has the potential to become a fire that never truly dies, because it's fueled by trust, mutual respect and genuine affection. Their first conversations are likely filled with a balance of curiosity and comfort. Neither feels the need to interrogate or impress. Instead, they ask thoughtful questions, listen closely, and reveal themselves in small, meaningful ways. They might talk about their favorite foods, their love for nature, their appreciation for a well-designed space, and while these topics may seem simple, they reveal much about who they are. Both are attentive to these little details, storing them away like precious keepsakes. Even in silence, the pull remains. They may find themselves simply enjoying being in each other's company without feeling compelled to fill every moment with words. This is not a lack of connection but a sign of it, a rare ability to share space without discomfort. It is this ease, this quiet harmony, that makes their initial attraction so powerful. From the very beginning, there is also an underlying sense of mutual respect. Each recognizes the other as someone who will not play games with feelings or waste time on shallow pursuits. They see in each other a shared seriousness about love, a desire for something lasting rather than fleeting. This recognition fosters a subtle but strong trust, even before the relationship has fully formed. The Taurus man might find himself wanting to do small but meaningful things for the Taurus woman, carrying her bag, opening a door, making sure she feels comfortable. Not because he feels obliged, but because caring for her feels natural. The Taurus woman, in turn, may show her appreciation through quiet acts of thoughtfulness, remembering his favorite coffee order, sending him a photo of something beautiful she saw that reminded her of him. These gestures, though understated, are powerful in their impact, creating a sense of mutual investment from the outset. Their chemistry is rooted not in extremes but in balance. It is not the dizzying high of infatuation, nor the desperate need for validation. Instead, it's a steady, grounding connection that feels as though it could withstand time. This is the kind of attraction that doesn't fade once reality sets in, because it was never built on illusion to begin with. It's built on authenticity, patience, and a shared rhythm that makes them feel like they've been dancing together far longer than they actually have. In those first days or weeks, they may not even fully realize how strong the bond is becoming. It unfolds quietly, without fanfare, until one day they look at each other and realize that what they've built already feels like home. And for two bulls, there may be no greater gift than that sense of belonging. Emotional dynamics. When a Taurus man and Taurus woman come together emotionally, it's as if they are stepping into a landscape they both instinctively know, a familiar terrain where the air is steady, the ground is solid beneath their feet, and nothing feels rushed or uncertain. From the very beginning, they sense that the other values the same core principles: stability, loyalty, and comfort. These are not just preferences for them, they are emotional necessities. The Taurus heart does not thrive in chaos, and when two bulls find each other, there's a profound relief in realizing they won't have to explain why security means so much. They both love deeply, but they love in a way that is consistent and enduring rather than erratic or impulsive. The Taurus man, when emotionally invested, shows his commitment through presence, not grand speeches or constant declarations, but by being there, by following through on promises, and by creating a steady emotional rhythm that his partner can depend on. The Taurus woman matches this energy in her own way, nurturing the relationship through thoughtful gestures, quiet acts of care, and a willingness to share her time and space without holding back. This is not a pairing that operates on half measures. When they decide to love, they do so with their whole selves. There's no testing the waters or keeping one foot out the door. Their emotional energy is devoted entirely to building something that lasts, something that feels as solid and enduring as the earth beneath them. Because of this, their bond often has a depth that grows stronger with time rather than weakening under the weight of daily life. In their emotional world, there is an almost unspoken promise: I will not leave when things get hard. This assurance creates a space where both partners can relax and open up without fear that vulnerability will be used against them. They don't feel the need to constantly verbalize their feelings to maintain the connection. They know where they stand, and that knowledge is like a steady hum in the background, always there, even if unspoken. However, this same steadiness can also lead to certain challenges. Both being fixed signs, they are naturally resistant to change. This means that if one of them slips into an emotional rut, perhaps a period of low mood, frustration, or apathy, the other may not instinctively push them to break free from it. Not because they don't care, but because they understand and, in some ways, mirror that reluctance to disrupt the comfort zone. They might give each other space when what's actually needed is a gentle nudge toward growth or new perspectives. At times, this can create a kind of emotional stasis, a sense of being stuck in the same patterns for too long. They may both prefer to keep the waters calm rather than risk rocking the boat, even if the boat isn't moving anywhere. This is where awareness becomes crucial. Learning when to hold steady and when to encourage movement forward is an important part of their shared journey. The beauty of their connection, however, is that emotional drama is almost non-existent. Neither partner enjoys unnecessary upheaval or thrives on conflict. They don't create storms just to feel alive. Instead, they seek peace, continuity, and a sense of harmony in their shared life. When issues arise, as they inevitably do in any relationship, they often prefer to address them quietly, away from prying eyes or public confrontation. Imagine them resolving a disagreement not by slamming doors or shouting, but by sitting down at their own kitchen table, perhaps with a warm meal in front of them or a cup of tea in hand, letting the conversation unfold naturally until clarity is reached. Or picture them on a quiet evening walk, where the rhythmic sound of their footsteps softens the tension and makes space for honest words to be exchanged. This gentle approach means that hurt feelings are rarely escalated into something bigger than they need to be. Each partner is mindful of the other's emotional well-being and is unwilling to cause harm for the sake of winning an argument. For them, resolution is about restoring balance, not proving a point. Another defining feature of their emotional dynamics is the mutual understanding of boundaries. Both respect the other's need for personal time and space, even within the context of a committed relationship. They don't interpret a partner's desire for solitude as a rejection. Instead, they see it as a healthy part of maintaining emotional balance. This prevents many of the misunderstandings that can plague couples with mismatched emotional rhythms. Their emotional connection thrives most when they consciously reassure each other, not necessarily through dramatic gestures, but by reinforcing that this is a safe place to be vulnerable. The Taurus man might do this by listening attentively when the Taurus woman chooses to share her fears or dreams, holding her hand without letting go until she's finished speaking. The Taurus woman might offer the same in return, creating an environment where he feels comfortable revealing parts of himself he rarely shows to others. Over time, their emotional bond can become a powerful anchor in their lives. The knowledge that there is someone who not only understands but also values their inner world brings both comfort and strength. They may not be the couple that thrives on constant novelty or whirlwind romance, but they are the couple that can weather the seasons of life without losing their sense of us. In moments of joy, they celebrate quietly but wholeheartedly, perhaps sharing a favorite meal, retreating to a cherished spot in nature, or simply enjoying an evening together at home without distraction. In moments of difficulty, they draw closer rather than drifting apart, finding reassurance in the familiar rituals they've built together. The greatest gift of their emotional connection is its durability. It's not easily shaken by outside forces because it's not dependent on fleeting excitement or temporary highs. It's built from the ground up, layered with patience, trust, and mutual respect, and because of that, it has the strength to endure. For both the Taurus man and the Taurus woman, this kind of love is exactly what they've always hoped for, not a tempest, but a steady flame. It may not roar in the wind, but it will burn, warm and constant, through the coldest nights and the longest years, reminding them always of the quiet, unwavering bond they share. Long-term compatibility. When a Taurus man and a Taurus woman commit to a shared life, the potential for longevity is remarkable. This is a pairing that doesn't just think about the next month or year, they naturally envision decades together. It's not in their nature to enter a relationship lightly, so by the time they've chosen each other, they've already weighed the compatibility, the shared values, and the likelihood of weathering life's ups and downs side by side. Their fixed sign nature, often described as stubborn, also translates into loyalty, perseverance, and a strong desire to protect what they've built together. One of the greatest strengths of this union is their shared instinct for creating stability. Both Taurus partners crave an environment that feels secure and grounded, not just financially but emotionally and physically. They work toward building a home that acts as a safe haven from the outside world, a place where they can retreat, recharge, and be their most authentic selves. Over time, this home becomes more than just a physical space. It's a reflection of their values, tastes, and mutual dedication. The Taurus man often takes pride in being a provider. Whether it's through his career, his investments, or his practical approach to managing resources, he finds fulfillment in knowing that his partner never has to worry about the essentials. The Taurus woman, in turn, brings her own gifts to the partnership, enriching that stability with her nurturing touch. She might transform the house into a true sanctuary, filling it with warmth, beauty, and comfort, the kind of place where friends and family instantly feel welcome. Together, they create not only a functional life but one infused with sensory pleasures, from the scent of fresh flowers to the satisfaction of a well-cooked meal. Long-term, their lives often settle into a predictable but deeply satisfying rhythm. This might include shared rituals like Sunday brunches at home, evening walks, or seasonal traditions they've built over the years. These routines aren't just habits, they're emotional anchors that strengthen their sense of togetherness. Both partners find comfort in knowing what to expect and in having the stability of shared plans and familiar patterns. Yet, therein lies their most significant challenge, the risk of falling into stagnation. Their love of routine, while comforting, can unintentionally dull the spark that first brought them together. Over time, they might realize that their days have begun to blend into one another without enough variation to keep things fresh. Because both tend to avoid change unless necessary, neither may push for new experiences, which can lead to an emotional plateau if left unchecked. To maintain the vibrancy of their bond, they need to actively cultivate novelty. This doesn't have to mean dramatic changes that disrupt their stability. Rather, it's about introducing small but meaningful variations into their shared life. A spontaneous weekend getaway, a new cooking class, or even rearranging their living space can add a touch of freshness without sacrificing their love for order. Trying a cuisine they've never explored, learning a skill together, or taking up a joint hobby like gardening, photography, or hiking can provide new layers to their relationship and deepen their shared memories. Another advantage they have in the long-term game is their ability to weather challenges with patience. Neither is quick to abandon ship when things get rough. Their grounded nature helps them approach problems methodically, looking for practical solutions rather than allowing panic or impulsive emotions to dictate their actions. When external pressures arise, whether financial stress, family dynamics, or health concerns, they tend to close ranks, working as a unified team. Communication plays a big role in sustaining their compatibility over the years. While both may be less inclined to overanalyze feelings verbally, they understand the importance of check-ins to ensure they're still aligned in their goals and dreams. Over time, they may develop their own shorthand, a way of expressing themselves that doesn't require elaborate explanations because they've learned to read each other's moods, needs, and unspoken concerns. In their shared vision for the future, material stability often intertwines with a desire for beauty and comfort. They don't just aim for a house, they envision a home filled with things they love, from carefully chosen furniture to a garden blooming with life. Vacations are planned with an eye for relaxation rather than adrenaline, perhaps a scenic countryside retreat, a luxury resort by the ocean, or a cultural tour where they can immerse themselves in art and history. These experiences become cherished chapters in their shared story, offering variety without threatening the foundation they hold dear. Over decades, their partnership often becomes a testament to consistency and mutual care. Friends and family may look to them as an example of how two people can not only stay together but thrive by leaning into shared values. They show that passion doesn't always need to be fiery to be lasting. Sometimes, it's the slow, steady warmth of two people who choose each other every day that creates the most enduring bond. Still, they must remain mindful of the balance between comfort and complacency. The very traits that make them so steady, loyalty, predictability, and a preference for the familiar, can also make them resistant to growth. By consciously choosing to explore new experiences together, they keep their emotional and romantic connection dynamic and alive. This might mean one year they take dance lessons, another year they start a small business together, or they dedicate time to hosting gatherings that bring new people and energy into their lives. In the end, a Taurus man and Taurus woman who nurture both stability and novelty can create a life that is not only secure but also deeply fulfilling. Their relationship, like a well-tended garden, flourishes when it's cared for with consistency but also refreshed with new plantings each season. Over time, their long-term compatibility becomes less about chance and more about the choices they make together, choices that honor their shared love for security while embracing just enough change to keep the journey exciting. Communication conflict resolution. When it comes to communication between a Taurus man and a Taurus woman, there is a certain refreshing simplicity that defines their style. Neither partner has the patience for manipulative games, veiled hints, or cryptic messages. They prefer clarity, straightforwardness, and the kind of honesty that leaves no room for misinterpretation. In their world, words are not weapons to be wielded recklessly, nor are they elaborate riddles to be solved. Instead, they are practical tools, used with purpose and sincerity. This directness fosters a foundation of trust early on, because both feel they can take the other's words at face value. However, their preference for action over excessive dialogue can sometimes be a double-edged sword. On the positive side, it means there's rarely confusion about each other's intentions. A Taurus man showing up on time, completing a promised task, or making a small, thoughtful gesture says more about his commitment than hours of speeches ever could. A Taurus woman cooking his favorite meal after a long day, taking care to notice when he's tired, or maintaining a calm environment for him to unwind in is just as communicative as any heartfelt declaration. Yet, this same reliance on unspoken understanding can cause problems when it comes to the more uncomfortable conversations. Both may assume the other just knows how they feel or what they need, and as a result, issues that require direct discussion can be left to simmer beneath the surface. What begins as a small annoyance, an unmet need, a repeated oversight, a difference in perspective, can gradually accumulate into resentment if neither partner chooses to address it head-on. Their shared fixed-sign nature only intensifies this pattern. When a disagreement does arise, it's not uncommon for the situation to turn into a quiet but firm standoff. Neither wants to be the first to bend. The Taurus man may feel that conceding too soon means losing his dignity, while the Taurus woman may interpret giving in as compromising her principles. Even if they're both aware that the disagreement is more about pride than substance, their innate stubbornness can hold them in place like two immovable forces. The good news is that neither is prone to explosive tempers without significant provocation. They're not the type to erupt over trivial matters or to use conflict as a form of emotional entertainment. They value peace far too much to willingly disrupt it without cause. Often, they will go to great lengths to avoid confrontation altogether, sometimes to their benefit, sometimes to their detriment. This avoidance works well when the matter truly is small and fleeting, but it can be problematic when the issue at hand requires resolution for the sake of the relationship's health. When something genuinely important is at stake, the tension between them can become palpable. It's not loud or theatrical, but it's unmistakably heavy, the kind of stillness that fills a room when two people are locked in quiet disagreement. The atmosphere might shift subtly, fewer words are exchanged, eye contact is avoided, and both retreat slightly into themselves. Each waits for the other to make the first move toward reconciliation, and because they are so alike in this way, the stalemate can last longer than necessary. The key to breaking these impasses lies in their shared love for harmony and beauty. Both Taurus partners are deeply uncomfortable with prolonged emotional dissonance, even if they won't admit it outright. They appreciate environments, both physical and emotional, that feel warm, balanced, and pleasant. This mutual desire for peace can be the catalyst for resolution, but one of them must take the courageous step of softening first. Often, the breakthrough comes in the form of a small, disarming gesture. Perhaps the Taurus man will bring home a slice of her favorite dessert, not as an apology in words but as an olive branch in action. Or maybe the Taurus woman will suggest they go for a walk in their favorite park, where the natural surroundings make it easier to speak freely without the pressure of sitting face to face. These gentle, sensory-driven approaches tap into their shared Venusian nature, lowering defenses and opening the door to meaningful conversation. Once dialogue begins, their natural practicality serves them well. They are not prone to wild accusations or dramatics. Instead, they tend to speak in measured tones, focusing on solutions rather than endlessly rehashing the problem. They might not express themselves in flowery language, but what they say is usually grounded, thoughtful, and sincere. Because their core values align so closely, it's rare for them to be fundamentally opposed in their desired outcome. More often than not, they want the same thing: stability, trust, and a sense of security, and this shared vision allows them to reach agreements that feel fair to both. It's important to note that their style of conflict resolution is not about winning or losing an argument. When they are at their best, the goal is restoration, not domination. They recognize that the health of the relationship matters more than proving a point, and once they have truly heard each other out, they're capable of putting disagreements behind them without dragging old issues into the future. Over the long term, this combination of straightforward communication, action-driven expressions of care, and a preference for peace over chaos gives them a strong advantage. Still, they must remain mindful of the tendency to let difficult topics go unspoken for too long. Addressing matters while they're still small prevents them from becoming larger conflicts that require far more energy to resolve. By leaning into their mutual respect and shared values, they can turn even moments of disagreement into opportunities for growth. When they remember that they are not opponents but teammates, their communication style becomes one of their greatest assets, a quiet but steady bridge that carries them safely across any temporary divide. And for two Taurus partners, nothing is more satisfying than knowing that, no matter the challenge, they can always find their way back to the calm, steady ground they both call home. Physical intimate connection. This is the realm where the influence of Venus, their shared planetary ruler, truly reveals its richness. Taurus is widely regarded as one of the most sensual signs of the zodiac, and when a Taurus man and Taurus woman unite, the physical aspect of their relationship is rarely rushed or treated as an afterthought. Instead, it becomes a deeply satisfying, almost luxurious part of their shared life, an experience they both savor rather than speed through. Their approach to intimacy mirrors their approach to love as a whole, patient, deliberate, and built on a foundation of trust and emotional safety. For them, physical intimacy is not solely about raw passion or fleeting excitement. It is about creating an atmosphere in which both partners feel nurtured, desired, and completely at ease. The Taurus man often delights in the way the Taurus woman seems to intuitively understand his need for touch, not just in moments of overt sensuality, but in the quiet, everyday ways that speak volumes. A gentle brush of her hand as she passes by, the weight of her head on his shoulder while they watch a movie, the warmth of her body leaning into his during a shared walk, these subtle acts of physical closeness feed his soul as much as grander gestures in the bedroom. The Taurus woman, in turn, feels deeply appreciated by the Taurus man's attentiveness and patience. He is rarely in a hurry to rush through moments of connection, understanding that pleasure is heightened when it unfolds slowly and deliberately. His touch tends to be steady, intentional, and reassuring, conveying a kind of grounded devotion that makes her feel truly cherished. With him, she never feels objectified or rushed. Instead, she feels valued for all that she is, body and spirit alike. In their intimate moments, both prioritize quality over quantity. They believe that the best experiences are the ones fully immersed in, where time seems to stretch and every detail is noticed. For them, intimacy is an art form, one that involves all five senses. The soft glow of carefully chosen lighting, the gentle rhythm of music that sets the tone, the comforting warmth of a room prepared for closeness, these elements are not trivial to them. They are part of the ritual, part of the care they put into making sure each encounter feels special and unhurried. This shared appreciation for ambiance means that their bedroom often becomes a sanctuary. It is likely adorned with soft fabrics, warm colors, and personal touches that make it feel like an extension of their emotional connection. Candles might flicker on the nightstand, a favorite playlist might hum quietly in the background, and the sheets may be chosen for their texture as much as their appearance. Everything in this space is curated to heighten comfort and pleasure. Because both approach intimacy with a slow, sensual mindset, their physical bond tends to deepen with time rather than diminish. The longer they are together, the more attuned they become to each other's rhythms, preferences, and unspoken cues. A glance, a shift in breathing, a subtle change in touch, all of these small signals speak volumes between them, allowing for a kind of wordless communication that is as intimate as any physical act itself. They also understand that true sensuality extends beyond the bedroom. For them, intimacy might begin over a shared meal, where lingering glances and playful touches hint at what's to come. It might be found in the way they dance together in the kitchen, or how they curl up on the couch during a rainstorm, wrapped in a blanket and in each other's arms. In their world, the line between everyday affection and physical passion is wonderfully blurred. Trust plays a crucial role in why their connection feels so rich. Both Taurus partners need to feel emotionally secure before they can fully open themselves to vulnerability, and once that trust is established, it allows them to explore physical closeness with a depth that is both passionate and tender. They know that their boundaries will be respected, their needs will be heard, and their comfort will be prioritized. This mutual respect creates an environment where both can express themselves physically without fear or hesitation. Their shared earth sign nature adds an element of physical groundedness to their intimacy. This isn't about reckless abandon, it's about staying present in every moment, fully aware of the sensations, the emotions, and the shared experience. They don't see intimacy as something to be conquered or performed. They see it as something to be lived in, to be savored, to be cherished. Over the years, this patient, attentive approach ensures that their physical connection doesn't grow stale. While some couples may find their passion cooling with time, a Taurus man and Taurus woman often discover that theirs becomes richer, layered with the trust, familiarity, and deep affection that only years of shared life can bring. They continue to explore and refine their connection, not through extremes, but through a steady dedication to keeping their bond alive and pleasurable. Even during times when life becomes stressful or busy, they instinctively find their way back to each other through physical closeness. A lingering embrace in the kitchen, a shared bath at the end of a long day, or simply falling asleep holding hands, these acts remind them that their relationship is more than just a partnership, it's a union of body, mind, and soul. In many ways, their physical and intimate connection serves as both a reflection and a reinforcement of their emotional bond. Each reinforces the other, creating a cycle of trust, comfort, and passion that sustains their relationship through every season. For them, intimacy is not an occasional luxury, it is an integral part of the life they are building together, a quiet but powerful expression of love that grows more profound with every shared moment. Shared values, life goals. If you were to sit a Taurus man and a Taurus woman down in separate rooms and ask them, without any prior discussion, to list what they want most out of life, you would likely find that their answers align almost perfectly. This is one of the great advantages of their pairing. Their values are not just similar, they are deeply intertwined. Both see life as something to be built steadily and enjoyed fully, and they are committed to creating a reality that balances security with beauty, comfort with meaning. At the core of their shared values is the belief that stability is the foundation for happiness. Financial security is not a luxury to them, it is a necessity, the bedrock upon which all their other dreams rest. They are both willing to work consistently and diligently toward this goal, understanding that a stable financial base allows them the freedom to indulge in life's pleasures without constant worry. This practicality doesn't mean they are devoid of dreams, on the contrary, they are practical dreamers, blending ambition with realism. They both place immense importance on creating a comfortable home. For a Taurus, home is not just a physical space, It is a sanctuary, a place where the outside world can be shut out and peace can reign. They envision a home that reflects their love for quality, warmth, and beauty, perhaps adorned with carefully chosen furniture, art that speaks to their senses, and a kitchen stocked with the ingredients for shared meals. This home is not just for show, it is lived in, filled with moments of laughter, shared meals, quiet evenings, and the subtle rituals that give life meaning. Good food, too, holds a special place in their hearts. Dining together is more than sustenance. It is an experience, an opportunity to connect, unwind, and indulge the senses. Whether it's cooking a meal together from scratch, visiting their favorite restaurant, or exploring new cuisines on a trip, food becomes a recurring thread in the tapestry of their shared life. They see it as both a daily pleasure and a celebration of what they've built together. When it comes to relationships, reliability is non-negotiable for both. They are steadfast in their own loyalty and expect the same from their partner. The Taurus man values the Taurus woman's dependability, her consistency in action and word. The Taurus woman treasures the Taurus man's unwavering commitment and his ability to provide emotional and practical support. This mutual reliability creates a deep sense of trust, making them feel anchored even when life's inevitable storms pass overhead. Their life goals tend to be highly compatible. Owning property often sits high on their list, not simply as an investment, but as a tangible representation of the life they've built together. They envision a strong family unit, whether that includes children, close-knit extended family, or a chosen family of dear friends, where everyone feels cared for and secure. They value traditions and may take pride in hosting gatherings, celebrating milestones, and creating a legacy that can be passed down. They are not thrill seekers in the traditional sense. Wild risks rarely appeal to them. Instead, they take calculated steps toward their dreams, ensuring that each move they make is sustainable in the long term. They are more likely to save for a carefully planned vacation than to spontaneously book a trip without considering its financial implications. This doesn't mean they lack excitement in their lives. It simply means their excitement is grounded in foresight and intention, which ensures they can fully enjoy it without regret. A well-planned retirement is often part of their shared vision. They see the later years of life not as a time to slow down into monotony, but as a reward for the years of steady work and wise decision-making. Whether they picture themselves in a countryside home surrounded by nature, traveling to destinations they've long dreamed of, or simply enjoying the fruits of their labor in comfort, they know they will do it together, without financial strain or uncertainty. Their alignment on priorities means that disagreements about major life decisions are rare. They are usually on the same page about how to allocate resources, when to make big purchases, or how to approach family matters. Even in the moments when they don't initially agree, their shared values act as a compass, guiding them toward resolutions that honor their mutual goals. Because they are both grounded in the same principles, their relationship benefits from a profound sense of direction. There is no constant renegotiation of what they are working toward. The path is clear, and both are willing to walk it together. This clarity minimizes unnecessary conflict and allows them to focus their energy on building rather than debating. Over time, this unity in values and goals becomes one of their greatest strengths. When challenges arise, as they inevitably do, they can rely on the fact that they share the same vision for their life. This shared vision is like a lighthouse, steady and unwavering, guiding them back to what matters most whenever they are pulled off course. Ultimately, the Taurus man and Taurus woman's shared values create not just a stable foundation, but a deeply fulfilling one. Their life together is built on mutual respect, aligned priorities, and a shared understanding that the best lives are those crafted with care, enjoyed with all the senses, and sustained with equal measures of love and effort. This alignment doesn't just make them compatible, it makes them partners in the truest sense of the word, co-creators of a life that is both secure and rich in the pleasures that matter most to them. Final thoughts. A Taurus man and a Taurus woman, when they find each other, have the potential to create a love story that is as enduring as it is comforting. Their connection is rarely about flashy drama or whirlwind romance. Instead, it is grounded in the kind of steady devotion that quietly builds a life over years and decades. If you imagine their relationship as a structure, it would be less like a glass skyscraper and more like a sturdy stone house, carefully crafted, solid in its foundation, and built to withstand the seasons of life. This home might not draw gasps at first glance, but step inside, and you'd find warmth, security, and beauty that lasts. One of the defining qualities of this pairing is the deep sense of mutual understanding that flows between them. Without needing to explain, they recognize in each other the same desire for stability, the same appreciation for life's pleasures, and the same distaste for chaos or unpredictability. This shared foundation makes their bond feel inherently safe. They are each other's anchor in a world that can often feel too fast, too loud, and too uncertain. Their love is loyal almost to a fault. Once committed, neither is quick to walk away, even in the face of challenges. This loyalty is not born of obligation but of genuine care, respect, and a belief in the life they are building together. It's a love that says, "I'm here, no matter what," and that unwavering consistency is something both treasure deeply. Yet, as with all strengths, there are shadows to consider. Stubbornness is a hallmark of the Taurus personality, and when two bulls share the same pasture, it can lead to moments of locked horns. Neither likes to back down, and neither enjoys being wrong. This can make conflict resolution a slow process unless one or both learn the art of compromise without feeling like they are surrendering their values. Overcomfort can also become a quiet threat to their relationship. Their mutual love of routine, while a source of stability, can also create a sense of stagnation if they are not mindful. Days can begin to blend together, and the spark that once made their connection feel new can start to dim. It's not that their love fades, but that it risks becoming too familiar, too predictable. The reluctance to embrace change is another shared trait that requires careful balance. While they are wise to avoid reckless decisions, life inevitably brings shifts, in career, in family dynamics, in health, in dreams. Their ability to adapt together will be crucial. If they face changes as a united team, they can navigate even the most unexpected storms without losing their footing. The good news is that the very traits that can challenge them are also the ones that, when managed well, make them unstoppable as a couple. Their loyalty can inspire deep trust. Their love of comfort can create a home environment that nurtures them both. Their cautious approach to change can ensure that every step they take together is intentional and in alignment with their shared vision. To keep their relationship vibrant for decades, they need only add a touch of novelty to their reliable routines. This doesn't mean upending their lives, but sprinkling in small surprises, a spontaneous weekend getaway, a new hobby to explore together, or even something as simple as cooking a cuisine they've never tried. These small acts can reignite excitement without compromising the stability they value so much. Ultimately, this pairing thrives on mutual respect and a shared desire to live a life filled with beauty, security, and pleasure. They are both willing to work for what they want, to invest in the things that matter, and to protect the life they've built with steadfast care. In many ways, they embody the saying, "Slow and steady wins the race." Two bulls in love may not charge ahead at lightning speed, but once they've decided to walk the same path, they do so with unwavering commitment. Step by steady step, they move forward, side by side, creating a shared story that is rich in tradition, deep in affection, and strong enough to endure whatever lies ahead. And when the years have passed and the world around them has shifted, they will likely still be found together, enjoying a quiet evening, holding hands, and feeling as sure about each other as they did the day they began.